Hey Pokemon trainers, so today we got ourselves a new deck analysis. It's a new deck that I just built super quickly right before a League Cup. I tested it like one day at a little local event. It did pretty well. I saw it actually going toe to toe with Mewbox, which I was like super stoked about because the previous deck that I was running was just running out of steam, and I noticed it wasn't pretty much like at the same tier as Mewbox, which is one of the most popular decks out right now. Well, this deck in particular is Darkbox, and I think the reason why they put the word box is because it's like a utility thing, you know, with different functions. So that's why there's so many 1-0s here. So you find an answer for everything. So just starting off, before anything, here's a unified mind code. And to start off, we got ourselves Hoopa GX. I've done a deck list on this card before, and I'm super used to using him, and it was super cool to use him again. But basically, he's kind of like my starter, and I'll get into that in another video. But the next card we got here is Umbreon Darkrai GX. This card honestly holds so much weight just because of the Black Lance and how it's sniping and just spreading damage all over the place. It's ridiculous. Next card, Greninja Zoroark. Also did a deck on this. It's just good because if you have a lot of energy on the like field or whatever, it's gonna hit for crazy numbers. And then there's this card. In my opinion, Mega Sableye and Tyranintar GX is just an intimidation factor. Once it's out and people see the energy that are out, and they know that it could take an extra prize of Greedy Crush, so it's kind of scary. Mewtwo and Mew GX. This card is just so great because even if your dark Pokemon end up in the discard pile because you discarded them while going through the deck, or if they get knocked out, Mewtwo and Mew GX basically says, hey, I can still use your same attack, so it's all good. So then there's Dedenne GX, just to get the deck a little bit more consistent. And then probably the most important card is Weavile GX. In my opinion, Weavile GX is pretty much the reason why the deck functions so well. And basically it just moves around energy all across the board, so it's pretty good. So this card I put in mostly because of Caldeo GX and what else, like any anti-tag team, anti-GX kind of thing. And there's Sneasel. I used this one, and then I also put in this one also just because of the beat up attack. It's just another Pokemon, a non-GX Pokemon that could attack, so it's pretty cool. Darkrai. So this is my last installment to the deck. I didn't used to like this card in particular, but realistically you need to put as many dark energies on board, and with its ability, it's not even counted as a task per turn, but you just put it down on the bench, you put 2 dark energies, and then you're off. Also, it can stall really well with Abyssal Sleep, considering you attack and then they have to flip 2 heads just to wake up. So just make sure they're like at a low hand size or something like that, where they may not have like a way to retreat, so just be aware of that. And then there's Ditto, because there's multiple stage 1s. Ditto's pretty good. Naganadel takes up the energy. It's pretty good from the discard pile, so any energy you discard, you get it back real quick, or if you need a retreat, it just comes back. Poipole, just just in the Naganadel family. Also, Poipole is good to have on the bench, regardless, just because it's an Ultra Beast, and you could Beast Ring onto Poipole. Cynthia for consistency, Lillie for more consistency, Judge just to mess up your opponent. If they have a big hand size, you judge them. Copycat. I like Copycat for the early mulligans when for some reason you just get mulligans and then your opponent has like 8-9 cards and you start off with Copycat. Then boom, like then you have 9 cards. Ingo Emmet, I really like because it discards cards and it allows you to see what's on the top. And if you don't like what's on top, maybe it's not a supporter, then you just grab what's on the bottom. But it's pretty cool. I like it a little better than Hapu, personally. Black Market, it's a good little psychological effect because once Black Market's out, it messes with your opponent's mind where if they don't knock off Black Market, then basically they're going to take one less prize if that dark Pokemon has a dark energy on it. So you just got to make sure that dark Pokemon has a dark energy on it for it to count. So yeah, Dark City, pretty awesome stadium for this deck. Basically it says basic dark Pokemon could retreat for free. So it's pretty awesome. Viridian Forest is there so you can make sure you always have energy because you always need energy flowing through this deck. I got 4 Cherish Balls just for consistency. Even though this deck is a little techy, you're gonna want to fill up your bench with attackers. And then also it helps you look for Weavile GX, so that's pretty cool. Custom catchers, I am only playing 3 specifically because I got a lot of influence from the Sheffield dark boxes that I was looking at, and basically they said you really don't need to gust 2 times in one game. Realistically, yeah, just 1 time. Most of the times when I was playing it at the League Cup, I really didn't need to gust that much because you're sniping a lot, but it is also good little draw support, so that's pretty good. Mysterious Treasure, you want to look for your Naganadels and Poipoles, so that's pretty good. And discard Dark Energy if needed. Beast Ring is super clutch, and I'll explain in another video how Beast Ring just works super well in this deck. Moving on, next card, Pokémon. I wasn't too big of a fan of this card, but I noticed when you have stage 1s, you're gonna want Pokémon, so it's pretty cool. Switch 2 is definitely necessary, 1 at least, but I think 2 is needed, if not even 3. But mobility is super important just because status ailments are now currently somewhat of a thing, so you're gonna want to get out. So then there's Super Scoop Up. I like Super Scoop Up because if I start out early and I go to the next turn and I don't have a Dedenne for some reason, but I put it down last turn, I could Super Scoop Up, pick up Dedenne, use them again. So that's pretty cool. And then obviously, if you're low on health, Super Scoop Up. But most attackers and other decks are one-hit KOers. So yeah, there's that. Reset Stamp, just for those late games. Reset Stamp for 2, you know, it's pretty cool. Mess up your opponent. And then specifically, I only have 12. I'm used to playing more energies typically, but I figured I really don't need that much, and you really don't because you're getting so much energy back up from Naganadel, and yeah, it's not that really a big deal. 12's perfect, but yeah. So there's that deck, and here's another code card. Hope you enjoy this deck list and it works for you, and I'll be making another video explaining specifically about the mechanics of it. But thanks for watching, guys. Bye.